It is Saturday, September 15th, 2018. Giants get a confidence-boosting series win against the Colorado Rockies. They win it 3-0. This is Giants Roundup on Saturday, September 15th, Game 2 of a 3-game series. You can follow on Twitter, join the group page on Facebook. Most importantly, please be kind and hit that subscribe button. And man, the pitching has just been excellent the last two nights, as the Giants have maybe this is a big confidence booster as they get a series win against the team that has given them fits the majority of the season in the Colorado Rockies. Bumgarner looked much better tonight. He didn't have that meltdown inning. He only pitched 64, and Bochy gave him the hook after the 6th inning. 5 hits allowed, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Definitely looked like this is the Mad Bum will get one more start likely after this. Maybe 2 to showcase himself before a potential off-season trade. But, Nolan Arenado only 1 for 4, so I'm not complaining about that. Trevor Story 1 for 4. But most importantly, the runs, 0. The number of Story home runs, 0. So those are all good takes there. The bullpen, definitely great tonight. All zeros by Watson, Melanson, Strickland, and Smith. So this is what the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning could look like in 2019. And Evan Longoria going 2 for 3 tonight. And also hit by 2 batters. I think there was also a warning issued at some point. Oh, yeah, there was warnings issued earlier tonight after there was definitely a bit of a beanball war tonight between the Giants and the Rockies. But yeah, it started off with Bumgarner hitting DJ LeMahieu with a pitch. Then in the next inning, benches were warned when German Marquez plunked Evan Longoria with runners on 2nd and 3rd. That drew the warnings. Slater was later hit by a pitch, and that was it for that. But the Giants now at 69 and 70 and 79 on the year. Colorado now in 2nd place. That's the bad news, unfortunately. And what's the worst news is Arizona is 4 back in the West. So, yeah, I'd like the win, but the bad news is now LA is in 1st place. Yeah, Ramon did warn the benches after Marquez hit Evan Longoria, and then Slater was hit. That was not hit in the head with a curveball, but no, I guess he wasn't ejected. I was a little surprised Bochy wasn't out to argue. That's all right, but then the Giants got things going. It started off with a Slater ground out. It scored Brandon Crawford 1-0. Hunter Pence singled to shallow center. It scores Nick Hundley 2-0 in the 2nd inning. In the 3rd inning, Bumgarner scores on a wild pitch. That would be your final of 3-0. So really good outing by Bumgarner. As I said, definitely recovered from that outing in Milwaukee. And we want to get one more good quality start and then see what his trade market's going to be, as the other player the Giants are looking to trade this offseason is going to be shut down here in the coming days, and that's Brandon Belt. He had an MRI on his knee, and I think odds are more likely than not Brandon Belt's going to be shut down for the season. And I think there's really no point. Okay, it looks like Brandon Belt will not be shut down for the season. The MRI came back good. But if it were up to me, I would shut down Belt for the rest of the year. Really no point playing him. Austin Slater played first. We could see a lot of Darno playing first here in the last 2 weeks. But still, with Belt heading for surgery, I think it's going to be Bumgarner that gets traded here this offseason. And also the Giants have started making some coaching changes as the strength and conditioning coach was fired yesterday. Carl Cochin was fired after, and with all the injuries, that's no surprise there that he was fired. And it looks like, from what I'm hearing, it looks like there's going to be major changes this offseason, according to Larry Baer. And the good news is it looks like Brian Sabian will be back next year. Bruce Bochy will be back for the 2019 season. What could potentially be a lame duck year for Bochy if things aren't any better in the 2019 season. But the one guy who looks like who could be out or who's on the hot seat is Bobby Evans. And I think that doesn't surprise me. Bobby Evans has been in the GM's position the last 3 years. And the Giants haven't been great the last 3 years. So it would make a lot of sense for me to see Bobby Evans get fired at this point. And it looks like Bochy's talking about shutting down Brandon Belt for the year, so that's good for him. But yeah, there's been some good and bad trades with Bobby Evans. The Longoria trade and of course then that one trade for that one Marlins player, Casey McGee, that was Bobby Evans. There's been a lot of blunders under Bobby Evans. The signing of Mark Melancon, that's 62, what's turning out to be a $62 million mistake. And of course, Cueto hurt. Samardzija, uncertain he's going to be back for the 2019 season. So it's looking like Bobby Evans will be the odd man out this offseason. They will, and I don't think they should. It should not be an in-house hire. I think they do need to hire from the outside for Bobby Evans' replacement. Maybe Oakland. I think Oakland would be a great spot. And this would probably be my choice to replace Bobby Evans. I'd go with Dan Kantrovitz as an option to replace Bobby Evans this offseason. He's an assistant to Moneyball Billy Beane and a disciple of sabermetrics, and this is the route the Giants need to go next year. So bringing in somebody from the A's front office might be the route to go. I think Dan Kantrovitz would be an idea. Dan Feinstein would be another idea, and Billy Owens are definitely 3 guys who are in the Oakland A's as assistants to David Forst. And of course, David Forst is an understudy of Billy Beane. So I think it's time to, start bringing some Oakland A's executives over here. Start maybe having the Giants learn Moneyball. And yeah, they're going to have plenty of money to spend this offseason, but that doesn't mean you need to spend it. I think it's not, if we don't get Harper, don't spend the money. Go with a payroll, maybe 170 million, 180 million. It's fine. I don't think this is going to be a contending team next year, and that's what Larry Baer was hinting, that it may take a couple years. The Giants are going to get younger. It might mean not contending for 2019, possibly even 2020. But just because you have the money doesn't mean you need to spend it. So definitely there'll be a lot more roster questions coming up. And for the Giants, I'm glad to see them playing spoiler, but unfortunately it's the wrong team in Colorado. I'm on the anybody but the Dodgers at this rate. But tomorrow they will go for the sweep, and Derek Rodriguez will be on the mound, and this will be the final game against Colorado. And it'll be Antonio Santatella on the mound for Colorado. So the Giants' tragic number for the division is now 3. And for the wild card, their tragic number is 2. So there we go as in terms of tragic numbers. And then in some non-baseball news, the past couple days, Erik Karlsson traded to the San Jose Sharks for Chris Tierney, Dylan DeMello, Rudolph Balcers. The Sharks' 2019 first-round pick or 2020 first-round pick, conditional draft picks. And I am looking forward to seeing Erik Karlsson in a Sharks jersey this next year. The bad news would be probably Justin Braun. It looks like Erik Karlsson will be paired with Mark-Edward Vlasic. And Justin Braun will be moving down to the third pairing with Brendan Dillon. So I totally would not be surprised if we see Justin Braun traded before the February deadline in the NHL for speed. I definitely think the Sharks could use more speed along with Evander Kane and get another scorer. So I don't think Doug Wilson's going to be done making moves anytime soon. But this is definitely a move that gets the San Jose Sharks to being cup contenders this year. And yeah, my second love, one of my other loves after the Giants is the San Jose Sharks. They certainly don't get a lot of exposure in the Bay Area media. That's a really shame. And I live out here in California. I am a big hockey nut, and I just don't get into basketball. Even with everybody in the Bay Area rooting for the goal, with all the championships the Warriors have won, I prefer hockey. Hockey, there is no prima donna. So I'm really excited for this hockey season now with Erik Karlsson on the Sharks. I'm really excited about it. And definitely our friends at Teal Town USA, definitely catch them this year after every Sharks game. They are great people on there. They do a great job covering the Sharks after every Sharks game, and they've got a great sense of humor. So definitely check out Teal Town USA for what I'm hoping we'll be bringing our first Stanley Cup to San Jose. But I thought that was big non-Giants news, and it's just been a really good couple days. The pitching's great. I will say this about Chris Stratton last night. Pencil him in for 2019. This is kind of why I think I am very okay with the Giants trading Madison Bumgarner this year. Bumgarner is not as good as he was. I don't honestly think he's going to be worth 125 to 150 million in a contract extension. And this is where the Giants brass needs to get better, is not overpaying for hurt players. So I think I could be a lot more open to the idea of trading Madison Bumgarner in the offseason. You've certainly got Sean Anderson in Sacramento who could compete for a roster spot. You could bring in somebody like a Drew Pomeranz who's fallen on hard times, or a J.A. Happ to anchor the back end of the rotation. But I'm really weary about the idea of potentially signing and getting stuck with another bad contract in a Madison Bumgarner whose velocity has been declining. So I definitely think he's going to be gone in the off season. We've got guys in house who can replace him. There's rehabilitation projects. I'd certainly bring back Derek Holland next year. He's definitely deserved it. And then Derek Rodriguez, pencil him in. Pencil in Andy Suarez. Pencil in Chris Stratton. And I think by sometime next year, you're going to have Tyler Herb up with the Giants. You're going to have Sean Anderson up with the Giants. So you've got your future homegrown rotation really starting to come in place. And if you can get some nice prospects back for Madison Bumgarner and Brandon Belt, you can get some more homegrown pitching, more homegrown hitting. Next year is not going to be great, but if you can just get that farm stocked up and jumpstart the youth movement, it will just make life much better. And certainly a kid to watch in Double-A next year is going to be Heath Quinn. I am really interested to see how well he will do in Triple-A. Maybe he'll be in Double-A. So we'll see maybe Heath Quinn up in Triple-A next year. So I think Heath Quinn is definitely going to be a prospect to watch next year. I wonder what today's attendance was for the Giants game. It was not a sellout, 38,204. But I think I think definitely Larry Bear's getting it right, and he is starting to become aware of the situation. And we'll see how much of a teardown of the roster we have this offseason. But yeah, I think definitely Bochy deserves to come back next year. I definitely want him to retire on his own terms. I don't want him to be fired at any way or point or forced out. But I do think that 2019 is more likely than not going to be a farewell tour. I don't know. I doubt Bochy gets an extension unless the Giants are contending next year. But I think he's due that. But I do think one of the assistants who's not going to be back next year could be Ron Wotus. Wotus is a guy that was seen for a while as the heir apparent to Bruce Bochy, but he was reassigned to third base coach last year. So I totally would not be surprised if Wotus retires, moves to the front office, or is let go this offseason. And also they may bring in somebody like Mike Matheny to be the bench coach. And I think if and possibly in a potential evaluation process, you might see Hensley Mullins go to Sacramento and manage the River Cats next year. So these are some options you could really see come in the offseason here. but tomorrow concludes the road trip before they go on their final roadie. And mercifully, we're done with Colorado after tomorrow, and this is just a confidence-boosting series win. Just a great night. Let's go to the MLB Roundup for your Saturday night. In St. Louis, the LA Dodgers clobber the St. Louis Cardinals 17-4. Rich Hill, 4 earned runs in 5 innings pitched. Taking the losses, John Gant. 6 earned in 4 1/3 innings pitched and 4 walks. Doc Peterson goes 3 for 6. Justin Turner 3 for 3. Cody Bellinger 3 for 5. Yasiel Puig 3 for 6. And all 3 of those hits were home runs. And now the Dodgers take first place at 82-67 on the year. And Tyler Webb, an earned run without recording an out. Mike Mayers, an earned run in 2/3 of an inning pitched. Dominic Leone, 2 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning pitched. Luke Weaver, 7 runs, 3 earned in 2 1/3 innings pitched. In Atlanta, the Nationals beat the Braves 7-1, taking the win. Jeffrey Rodriguez taking the loss. Julio Teheran, who walked 6 in 4 innings pitched, not great. And then Touki Toussaint comes in 3 earned in 1 inning pitched. Hellickson gives up an unearned run, and this one I think had a weather delay. In Cleveland, the Indians clobber the Tigers 15-0, and Cleveland wins the AL Central today. And Detroit only musters 2 hits. Michael Brantley goes 2 for 3 for Cleveland. Jose Ramirez 3 for 4. Edwin Encarnacion 2 for 3. Brantley hits his 16th home run of the year. And not a good day for Matt Hall, who comes in after, I think, Fulmer got hurt. 9 runs, 6 earned, and 1 inning pitched. Sandy Baez, 2 earned and 1 2/3 innings pitched. Zach Renninger, 2 earned in 1 1/3 innings pitched. Yeah, he did leave with an undisclosed injury, so that was not good. In the Bronx, the Blue Jays beat the Yankees 8-7. Taking the win is Sean Reed Foley. Taking the loss, CC Sabathia, who surrenders 5 earned in 2 1/3 innings pitched. Randall Grichuk, 3 for 5. Teoscar Hernandez, 3 for 5 for Toronto. New York didn't lose any ground, though, today. In Boston, the Red Sox beat the Mets 5-3. Rick Porcello takes the win, taking the loss. Paul Sewald, 4 earned in 2/3 of an inning pitched. Steve Pearce, 3 for 4 for the Red Sox today. In Chicago, the Cubs beat the Reds 1-0, taking the win. John Lester, have yourself a Game 7 scoreless innings. And 9, that's right, 9 strikeouts for Lester. Wilson Contreras goes 2 for 3 for Chicago. And Chicago now 2.5 games up on the Milwaukee Brewers in the NL Central. In Tampa Bay, the Rays beat the A's 7-5, taking the win. Andrew Kittredge taking the loss. Jerus Familia, 3 earned and 1 inning pitched. Matt Chapman goes 3 for 5 for Oakland. Matt Olson, 2 for 3. Olsen with his 27th home run on the year. Chapman, his 23rd home run on the year. Liam Hendricks, the opener. Dean Kinkhofer, 2 earned and 2/3 of an inning pitched. Yanni Chirinos, 3 earned and 5 1/3 innings pitched. Oakland falls 3.5 back of the division, but still is a game and a half back as in terms of home field in the wild card. In Philadelphia, the Phillies beat the Marlins 5-4. Taking the win is Luis Garcia. Taking the loss, Drew Rucinski, 3 earned and 1 inning pitched. And Vince Velasquez, 4 earned and 2 innings pitched for Philly. Philly now 6.5 back of Atlanta, trying to cling on to their postseason lives at this point. In Chicago, the White Sox blanked the Orioles 2-0, taking the win. Reynaldo Lopez taking the loss. Jeffrey Ramirez, 7 strikeouts and 5 2/3 innings pitched. In Houston, the Astros beat the D-backs 10-4, taking the win. Charlie Morton taking the loss. Zach Godley, 3 2/3 in 4 innings pitched. The bad news is the 6 walks is not all that great. Jose Altuve, 2 for 3. And then Jimmy Sherfree, 2 earned and 1 innings, 1/3 inning pitched. Silvino Bracho, 3 runs, 2 earned. And Charlie Morton strikes out 7 in 6 innings pitched. In Milwaukee, the Brewers lose to the Pirates 3-1, taking the win. Ivan Nova taking the loss. Taking the loss, Zach Davies. Jesus Aguilar goes 3 for 4 for the Brewers. In Kansas City, the Chiefs beat the Vikings 10-3. Taking the win, Ian Kennedy. Taking the loss, Chase DeJong, 3 for 5 for Alex Gordon. And Zach Littell, 4 earned and 2 2/3 innings pitched for Minnesota. In San Diego, the Rangers beat the Friars 6-3. Taking the win, Ariel Jurado. Taking the loss, Jose Castillo. Freddie Galvis goes 2 for 3 for the Friars. And in the OC, the Mariners beat the Angels 6-5, taking the win, James Pazos. Taking the loss is Jose Alvarez. Mike Trout goes 2 for 3 for the Angels. Christopher Negron goes 3 for 4 for Seattle. And Trout hits his 34th home run on the year. Jose Alvarez, 2 earned and 1/3 of an inning pitched for the Angels. And on other sports and in the minors tonight, The Redbirds blank the Grizzlies 5-0. That will, and the Grizzlies' season ends tonight as they were shut out by the Redbirds 5-0. Taking the win is Jake Woodford. Taking the loss, Cy Sneed, 3 earned and 3 innings pitched. Akeem Bostic, 4 innings pitched without record, 4 scoreless innings. Matt Ramsey, 2 runs, 1 earned. Giovanni Gallegos picks up the save. Kyle Tucker goes 1 for 4 as Jack Mayfield. That will conclude what could be a very uncertain offseason for the Fresno Grizzlies, as this could be the final year they will have the affiliation of the Houston Astros. Astros rumored to be going to Round Rock or San Antonio. The 2 options that could be coming to Fresno next year could be the Oakland A's, with the rumors of Nashville possibly going to be affiliating with the Washington Nationals. And of course, Las Vegas is definitely going to be looking for a new team to affiliate with. And the other option could be the Milwaukee Brewers. But I do thank the Astros for the 2 postseason runs we've had. But it was just close, but no cigar for Fresno as their season ends tonight. And Memphis will go to the AAA World Series. They will take on they will play the Durham Bulls for the AAA championship on Tuesday night. In the California League, Visalia loses. And Visalia gets swept by Rancho Cucamonga. They were eliminated. And in other Northern California school scores, Stanford beats UC Davis 30-10. Cal clobbers Idaho State 45-23. Fresno State currently leading UCLA 22-14. I think it's about 29-14 now. But that will conclude it for tonight's show. We'll be back on tomorrow. What will be the final game against the Colorado Rockies. Everybody have a great Saturday night. And have a good Sunday. We'll be on at 4 o'clock with Giants and Niners going on at the same time. Good night.